All right, so we're in a very, very exciting time within the crypto cycle. Everything's playing along exactly according to plan, but the only problem is things are starting to get a bit more expensive. So in today's show, I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you can gain exposure to cryptocurrencies, altcoins, Bitcoin, Ethereum for much cheaper than market price, and you can capitalize on the upside potential that's going to be coming later in the crypto cycle. Smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. As you can see over here with the comments, right? Don't be a hater. You're watching Kyledoops, not Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. So smash the like button and let's get straight into the show content. You can see over here on the banter bubbles looking very, very healthy, and we spoke about the possibility for leading into the weekend that you might see a lot of those retail market participants start to come back. They're going to be looking for exposure within the crypto market, and that means you're going to see increased volatility. You'll find out in today's show why it's so important that you want to establish your positions before that volatility comes into play, for not only the obvious reason that things will become more expensive, but if you want to buy coins on the cheaper than what the market price is going to be, then stay tuned until the very, very end. So, of course, with the majority of retail participants, they're now going to be sitting down at home and they're going to have the time availability away from their busy lives and work schedules, and probably have the opportunity to start to watch some content like this. And they're going to be looking for exposure in the market. So we'll have a look at a couple of coins today that are primed to move. We went through a few in yesterday's show. If you haven't already watched that, go back and have a look at all the coins that we spoke about on the 2-week time frame. Most of our trades are heavily in profit over here. I think there's only probably one of the 20-ish trades that we've taken that are still slightly in the red. I think that's 𝗏𝗡, but that one should catch up very, very soon. Everything's looking really, really healthy over here. And if we look at the crypto cycle, the pink line over here is this current cycle. If you look at the green one, that was the green was the 2021 cycle, and then the orange line that's flashing on and off the screen, that was the 2017 cycle. So if I zoom in over there, the purple one, we're following exactly according to plan. Everything is going according to perfection, and you can see what you have to look forward to next. So give or take, this cycle, we're probably about 60-ish% of the way through the crypto cycle, meaning we have another 40% remaining. But the biggest gains are actually going to occur in the final leg up over here towards the end of the crypto cycle. And this is unfortunately also the most dangerous time to be exposed to crypto. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you can reduce your risk while still getting coins cheaper than the market price, right? I also want to have a look at this to monitor, where we currently at and when we start to approach the major risk levels. Now, we can see that Bitcoin spends historically a certain amount of time in these overextended phases. And the question is, have we got there yet? Well, the answer is no, right? We're still sitting in the 0.6 to 0.7 phase. So to show you on another chart, your current risk level for Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin sitting in this $90,000 region puts you in that 0.6 risk level. Now, you expect that the market should top on the most extreme case. If we do get to those most extreme scenarios where we're starting to put in, the 0.9 risk level territory, we would expect that Bitcoin would need to be above 140,000. Now, if you look again, the time spent in those risk bands, how long does Bitcoin typically spend in that 0.9 to 1 risk band? That's 90 to 100% in terms of its extremity. Well, you're looking at about 18 days. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, make sure that you follow me on Twitter as well. The link is in the description below, because I will let you know if it's not during a live show when I start to plan to take the chips off the table, cash out, and exit my positions due to being in those risk bands for too long, right? Right now, everything is following according to plan and there are no problems. We've had a very, very strong monthly candle. And the good news is that the month is not even over yet, right? We've seen the month of November oftentimes produce up to about a 42% gain in this part of the cycle. When I say this part of the cycle, I mean post-election phase, post-halving cycle, which is exactly where we're at right now. And if we did play out that 42, 43%, you can see from the candle open to the top over there, that would take Bitcoin up to around that $102,000 mark, which is also your 1.618 fib extension when you anchor from the top to the bottom of the last cycle. And that's going to be a logical place where you expect a little bit of resistance to be found. Right now, everything is looking really good. We have our fractal things are moving up. And we're also watching the USDT dominance like a hawk. The reason why is because there's a lot of capital locked up over here in Tether, right, in stablecoins. And if we see the USDT dominance start to turn over and break below the supporting line, the yellow line that's running up over here, you should mark down quickly towards that 3.42. That's going to bring a lot of money into the crypto markets. And then we're going to see some of the altcoins fly, right? We're tracking that alongside. If we do get this breakdown, the more time we spend here, the higher the chances are that we're going to start to breach these lower levels and break down. And that's what we want. We want to see that if we want continuation of the bull run. And if we do see that, we might see that top forming on the Bitcoin dominance. Now, if we do get a top on Bitcoin dominance, there's going to be certain coins which are going to outperform others. In today's show, we're going to talk a lot about Solana as well and the potential upside targets that you could be looking at for Solana. So stay tuned until the very end. We're watching over here as you put in a little bit of a wick. It's not enough. Remember, it's not over until the fat lady sings, right? That's the saying. We're still waiting for confirmed breakdown over here of this rising wedge. Rising wedges are typically bearish patterns, especially when they do come into major levels of resistance, which we've now firmly tagged that, right? This was your order block that led to the breakdown. And in technical analysis, you oftentimes want to target back to that order block, that little consolidation that led to the big drop all the way in 2021. And now we've essentially drawn back into that zone like a magnet, and we're looking for the breakdown. If you look at the others against BTC chart as well, this is a good indication, because if USDT dominance breaks down and new money starts to come into the crypto market, and we see the Bitcoin dominance breaking down, that means money's flowing out of Bitcoin into the altcoin sector. And that means that you expect a bottom formation to form over here on the others chart, where you're looking for a big spike up. And you can see we're very, very close to that major support level for others, where we're expecting some sort of a reversal anytime from now. Now, again, the reason that you want to be here right now and you want to be watching the show is because most of the market participants have not yet put their chips on the table. They haven't placed their bets. They haven't taken their positions. And we can see this in the funding rate heat map, which has only just started to turn orange, right? I've spoken about this before. It's kind of like a traffic light. When you start to see the yellows and the oranges, it means that you need to consider slowing down. But we had a very, very short period over there where it put in the oranges. If we go back onto the daily over here, or onto, let's say, on the weekly, you can see orange, 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 and then it turned back green, right? Showing the hesitation of market participants. They dip their toes, they jump out. They dip their toes, they jump out. It's when everybody is dipping their toes and they're fully fledged into the market that you have this period, like in March. If you really zoom in over there, you can see this white line. This is what it looks like for Bitcoin price, right? Bitcoin price at that point in time, I think it rallied from somewhere around $30,000 all the way up to about $72,000, while everybody had their foot on the pedal, maxed out, looking for super, super long positions. Now, you want to start to establish your positions before that happens. So it's not too late yet, but we're getting there, right? As volatility expands, you expect that prices will get more and more expensive, especially when we talk about options, right? I'll talk about options in a moment's time. Let's continue with the Bitcoin analysis. You can see the liquidity, which is overhead over here, $35 million worth of liquidation levels, sitting now at 92,000. Again, just liquidity right for the taking, especially when you're in a strong trending move. This is short traders, stop losses that are placed over there, and you expect that price should grab that, right? So you should see price pushing up once again into that $93,000 territory, shaking out some of those short stops, and that oftentimes creates momentum to send prices higher. We spoke about on Friday show a couple of risk factors that you do want to pay attention to, but only if you start to clear the lower levels. We spoke about the biggest probability play being that you'll just see price continue to chop about in this pink box over here, and that's going to form a trading range, right? And we spoke about the CME gap, which is situated lower down over here, but it's unlikely to be hit, right? We said you have strong momentum, strong support over here. You have the yellow 9 exponential moving average, and then the 18 pink exponential moving average, which by tomorrow, which is now today, are going to rise into that key 85K level, and that should hold it as support, right? The more these moving averages move up and catch up to price, when price moves sideways, it allows for things to catch up, right? So for example, if you imagine if price overextends like this, the EMAs are situated all the way down here, and then it starts to move sideways, that allows for those EMAs to catch up. And when those EMAs catch up, if price comes back down, it will test that as support, right? So this is a good thing. It's a very, very good thing. The good thing is that the longer that bulls hold sideways over here, the more the volatility will contract in anticipation, right? Like a spring, it contracts, and then you get ready for the next move. When you release that spring, you get the next big move up, and the good news is there's support underneath over here. So everything is looking very, very healthy for Bitcoin bulls. They still remain in control over there, and we can have a look at the volatility on the high time frames for Bitcoin and Ethereum on the right-hand side. So for Bitcoin on the left-hand side, we're firmly expanding. We're breaking out of the cup and handle formation. This has been a long-term plan and target of ours, and we said the measured move should take it conservatively with the lower end target, right? We're going with the most conservative approach over here so that we can rather exit early as opposed to exiting late. And I wouldn't say exit, the entire market, but more just a little bit of profit taking. You're looking at that coming in at about 106,000 for Ethereum. You can see it's only just started to leave the building. It is supported by that volatility expanding. When you look at these lines over here, when you come from periods of these blue verticals, this shows very, very, very low volatility, and mathematically it's impossible for things to remain low that long unless you just delist all the coins, which is obviously not going to take place. And then you start to expand, and that's where you start to see the move take place, right? So once again, we recontracted, dropped below the 10 percentile mark, and then very quickly Ethereum started to get some new volatility coming in with that big spike over there, right? And based on this, what we were viewing back then, a couple of weeks ago, we said we're about to witness huge volatility expansion. And consequently, because we think that Ethereum is going to trade over $4,000 by March next year, probably going to do that even sooner, it created a trade opportunity where we could take out an options trade. Now, remember, when it comes to options trading, it means that you have the right, but not the obligation to buy or sell a crypto asset at a specific price at a specific point in time. Basically, as the saying is, it's options. It keeps your options open, which means that you can free up extra liquidity and you can risk less money, but still participate on the major upside potentials, right? So we're going to talk about that now because we've seen it occur on Bitcoin. We've seen it occur on Ethereum, but there's a couple of other positions that are about to line up where you can take an options trade, right? So if you don't have a lot of capital, it's useful for people like that, or it's also very useful for people that have massive trading accounts, but maybe due to tax reasons, you don't want to jump in and out of positions. Otherwise, every time you do that, it's a taxable event. Consequently, they cover themselves using options, right? So it's a little bit of a more sophisticated show and analysis. Maybe the new people out here are like, what the actual hell are you talking about? Well, I've got good news for you as well. We did make it easy for you because we wrote an article over here. If you go through to the link in the description below, this is free for any of you. Go through to the Whale Crypto Trades. This is my blog newsletter. You can go and have a read through that. We've written everything up over here with an amazing analysis of how we thought out to take this ETH trade and how we took it. What I want to showcase to you over here is as that volatility expands, right? We showed it over here. We were buying those ETH call options while prices were still very, very low, while volatility was very, very low, and consequently picked it up for super cheap. We're already in the money on this trade, and I'm going to give you another option, another opportunity in today's show as well, where you can get in the money on specifically a Solana trade. I'm going to show you why Solana as well, how you can pick it up for really cheap. So stay through till the end. But if you do want access to those articles, again, it's free to sign up. Go through to that, click that link, sign up, and then here's the first article, right? So the trade that we took at the time is we're looking at options that were costing us $350. If you go and you have a look at that same option right now, because of the expansion of volatility, this option, this is the live price feed, will now cost you almost double that, right? At 709. So think of this as your ticket reservation price. When you want to get exposure to the options, you get your ticket reservation price. That's the cost of the option. And then you get something called the strike price, right? Which is going to be written in the middle of the screen over here. This is, of course, on Deribit, right? And you need price to trade above that target zone. You're going to take your strike price and this price over here, and you need to basically make money on the difference, right? So, for example, if ETH trades over $4,000, which is what our expectation is, well, based on each of those options that we bought for $350, we stand to make some serious profits, right? We're going to take the strike price plus the $350. It basically leaves us with $850 profit. But the kicker over here is that you're risking a small amount, right? Because you have the right and not the obligation to purchase that Ethereum, right? So if let's say Ethereum is not trading at the level that we wanted it to, well, we only lose the $350 for one ETH, right? Which is nothing. It means you're buying Ethereum for $350 essentially, right? So we'll talk a little bit more about why I'm looking at Solana. Part of the reason why is because Solana has been historically very, very, very strong within this cycle. It's led a lot of the moves. And if you measure it actually against Bitcoin, which is how you should be thinking about your portfolios, is in Satoshi values, right? What is your Bitcoin denominated value of your portfolio? And is that Bitcoin denominated value going up as well? Because you'll witness a lot of the USD portfolios will also rise, but it's kind of not worth the risk if the BTC value is not rising. So I like the idea of buying Ethereum, of buying Solana very, very cheap, because I believe that Solana, for each percentage move up, is going to make me more than what holding Bitcoin will for each percentage move up, right? Against Bitcoin in Bitcoin terms. So we're looking at the ascending triangle over here on the Solana BTC chart. We're putting in a reaccumulation pattern of higher lows. We have the resistance level coming in overhead at 0.0027. Once we break above that, I expect a major move for Solana. So, of course, you can go and buy Solana on the open market, and I've done that too, right? But as the market starts to move along and volatility starts to come in and prices become higher and higher, it starts to become increasingly risky to keep buying essentially Solana at those higher prices where retail coming back. So instead, I opt for taking out options. So you're looking at a move here at about 70% upside for Solana BTC over there. If you look at Sol USD on the 2-week time frame, this was part of the 2-week list that I gave yesterday. We went through a list of all the different charts on the 2-week time frame that look really, really powerful. You'll remember we looked at the likes of Brett was one of them, right? I said if Brett starts to break and close above this resistance line, and we see the weekly close, which would also be the 2-week close at this level, you're looking for major, major expansion, right? So we looked at a bunch of coins. Solana is one of them that is lined up as part of the strong list. So there's Solana. It's about to break out. Now, we said if you do get this confirmation on a 2-week, we expect the next 2 weeks to lead to further expansion. So we can line it up similar to what we did over here, where we looked at the low volatility and ETH just started to expand. The lower the volatility, the cheaper it is to buy the options, right? So if we go through to Solana on the weekly time frame and you look at that BBWP, you can see it's only just starting to get liftoff, right? So it recontracted, came into periods of low volatility, and now it's starting to expand. This is more or less the time where you want to start to take out these options if you are going to utilize the strategy. Even if it is that you just want to buy the USD value, you can do the same thing, right? You can do the same thing theoretically in periods of low volatility, establish your positions. In periods of very, very high volatility up here, you want to do your profit taking or covering, which you can also do with options, right? So looking at some of these key levels on Bitcoin, let's just zoom in on the daily time frame and we'll go into that. Let's quickly move in on here. Just your key levels. So some of your key levels in play over here, you can see price is holding above the previous quarterly high. You've also cleared this resistance zone, which is coming in around that 194 to 200. This is a major, major level. You want to see bulls continue to defend this. So in my book, so it looks like as long as Solana keeps consolidating over here at about $200, it's almost inevitable that we're going to start to see rapid expansion. But then the next question is how high? How high could Solana go? Because when you are taking out any trade, also with options, you need to have an intended target in mind. You need to know where you're wrong on the idea, and then you need to know how high could price potentially go. So based on this over here, you can see we can actually measure out a perfect cup and handle formation, just like we did with gold, which made our measured move. It was one of the biggest trades we ever took, just like we did with Bitcoin, which is currently in play, just like we did with Ethereum. And we're seeing the same thing on Solana, right? Big cup, small handle over here, and the price is essentially breaking out right now, which means that Solana could go into the $400 territory, right? Exciting times, definitely exciting times. Congratulations to all of you SOL holders who have been in since near the bottom. This has been an absolute mammoth trade. I mean, if you got in realistically where the first point was that you could actually confirm there was a trend reversal and you're breaking back into the trend around $30. I mean, this has already provided a 650% return on a large cap like Solana, and it could potentially provide 1,357% returns by the end of the cycle. Huge, or not necessarily even the end of the cycle, just before the next major top. So therefore, I'm looking for some options on Solana so I can buy it up on the cheap. I'm going to show you how to do that, right? You can see over here, it's also being supported by the moving averages. We have your 3, your 9, and your 30 EMA, or MA, excuse me. All of them are angled towards the upside. This tells you it's a trend in motion and you're about to leave the station, right? The train's about to leave the station. We saw a similar posturing of these moving averages down here, and this is what came next, right? Huge move. Small pauses along the way, but essentially this has just held you long all the way to this point. Got a little bit of chop within this range. This was during the corrective phase where Bitcoin came down from $74,000 all the way down to $49,000, and now it's leaving an 8-month trading range with the support of all the moving averages telling you that this thing wants to go. So what do you do? Well, one of the most profitable trade strategies that you can take is using the 𝗬𝗏 option. So I'm going to show you how you can take a 1 to 5 risk to reward trade. Essentially, you can buy 10 Solanas for $229 with the option later to profit on that based on the timing factors. I'm going to show you how to do all of that now. Basically, it's going to cost you less than the 10th of a price of 1 Solana right now. You can trade in the big leagues with us, right? So it's about a 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio when you do all the calculations. Remember, we did the same thing over here on ETH. This is essentially what it costs us, $350. And we're looking to capitalize on that trade by the 28th of March. So anything that trades, above the strike price for ETH, plus that the option price, the asking option price, you're in the money essentially. But you're risking small amounts. That's the key point, right? You're risking very small amounts. I've shown you how this costs a whole lot more. Remember, when it comes to options trading, they're using something called the Black-Scholes-Merton model. Essentially what this looks at, it looks at what the current underlying price is, what the strike price is, what the expiry date is, what the interest rate is at that point in time, and the implied volatility. Based on these various different factors, it will affect that asking price, right? Here's the asking price that's running down the screen, and you want to buy it as cheap as possible, right? So you want to buy it when the volatility is low and hasn't taken off yet. When it comes to Solana, we are still relatively low, right? So I'll show you how to do it. For now, the first step you need to take is you need to go through to the link in the description below. Sign up to Deribit over there. I'm sure a lot of you, we saw a lot of you have already got your accounts ready because we already released this article yesterday, and some of you have already been buying it up, which means that that asking price has slightly gone up. So how are we going to do it? What are we going to do? This is planning the trade. This is what we're looking at, right? I believe Solana is going to trade at about $400, possibly even by the end of December if we get rapid expansion through the rest of this month and we see something crazy take place, right? So current SOL price, $215, target around $400. We've seen things like this happen before. I know that, it's not necessarily highly likely, but because I already have a lot of spot Solana in my bags, I'm opting for increasing my upside potential with a very small risk. Remember, it's costing us 1/10 of the price of what it would actually cost to buy Solana on the open market. So this is why it's a good trade. It's a 1 to 10 risk to reward ratio. This is the trade we're taking. I know it's complex for some of you out there, but it's called a bull call spread, right? A bull call spread. It's minimizing our risk as much as possible. It means we're creating a trading range for where we think price will trade for Solana, and we're able to cover ourselves almost in both directions. If you want all the details, same as this ETH article, same as this one over here, it's all over here for free, right? So if you want to make sense of everything I'm saying and you want to sit and read through it, go through to the crypto newsletter, Whale Crypto Trades. Also remember, in Whale Room, we'll be there too. If you have any questions, you can always tag us and we'll try and help you out. So bull call spread, here we go. I just entered into the trade right before the show. I'm going to show you how to do it as well. Bull call spread is a vertical spread option. It's a strategy involving buying a call option at a lower strike price, right? So a lower strike price around that 220 region, and then selling another call option, which is going to be at a higher strike price, both with the same expiration date. The expiration date that we've chosen is the 27th of December 2024, so the end of this year, right? You use the strategy when you expect a moderate price increase, not a massive 100x gain or 10x gain, but a moderate price increase. And it's less risky than just outright buying a simple call option, right? Because you're taking essentially two trades over here. So here's the two trades. Step number one, I'll show you how to do it on the platform as well. Bull call spread on Solana, right? Current price 215. This was as of yesterday, so it's changed ever so slightly. You're going to see because the people read the article first. The premium is just a little bit more, like $3. It's not much. The strike price that we're looking at over here is 220. So you need to buy a call option with a strike price of 220, right? So you go over here. When you're in the account, you go under the options. Then you're going to go through to the 27th of December, 2024. You can look through to our table, 220 it says, and then you need to essentially buy that call option. 220, buy the call option. So we're in the 220 category. Here's your buy your call option. The buy zones are in red. I know it's weird. Buy in red, sell is in green, right? So you buy it, there it is. You click on that. I've already done it. I bought it. So once you click on it, there it is. You'll come through, you'll buy it. It shows you all the pricing over here, how much it's going to cost you. You're essentially buying 10 contracts, right? So this will cost you around $200-ish, right? So there's mine. It's listed below. I've already entered into the trade using USDC. Now, what I will show you what this means in terms of profits. Next thing that you need to do is you need to sell a call option. So for that, you need to go down to the $360 strike price, which is down here. Scroll through to the bottom, 360, there it is. And then you need to trail across over here and click on that, right? So it says over there, 430, right? 430, there it is. And you need to essentially sell the call option over there. I've already done the same thing as well. This gives you a net premium that you've paid of $27.20 plus 430, which means it costs you just short of $23 for 10 SOL. Now, if price trades above the strike price that we have, which is only 220 over there, you start to go into the money immediately, right? So how much do you stand to make? Here's the maths. Here's everything written down. I'm just going to run through it very quickly. You can make more sense of it over here. Say Solana doesn't make it to the 400. Let's just say Solana makes it to 300, right? The $220 call will be in the money, and then you're going to have a profit equal to the difference between the spot price and that strike price, right? So if you look over here, here's your profit calculations on 300. The value of the call was 220. So we go 300 minus the 220 means you're making $80 per SOL. But the key thing you need to understand here is this is very low risk, right? Very, very low risk, guys. So I understand if you buy it on the open market and price goes up to $300, you do stand to make more, but you also stand to lose that money if price goes down, right? Whereas here, your risk on what you can lose is limited to the amount that you paid for those call options, which was only $220. That's the most you can lose. You cannot lose more than $220, right? So if you look at the net premium, basically you stand to win 571, right? If price goes above the 360, which we think it will, your max profits you're looking at over here is about $1,171, right? How much would you lose if you're wrong? So again, this is capped. This is how much you would lose. You're looking at the $22.90 for the reservation price for that option, plus it's times 10 SOL, because you took 10 SOL, means you're limited at $229. So you understand, you risk to lose $229 is what the cost is for these options, but then you're trading with as if you had 10 SOL. So anything that goes above those strike prices, which you're almost immediately in the money because the strike price over there that we took is 220, you start making profit instantaneously, right? So I know it's not for everyone. I know that this can be incredibly complex when you look to options, but we trying to make it as easy as possible for you by publishing these articles and utilizing the right strategy at the right time. Because options have a lot of different strategies, right? You got like straddles and this and that, and there's a million different ways to skin the cat, as the saying goes, right? Terrible saying, but as the saying goes, there's a million different ways that you can do this. So I'm here to give you the best ways possible, and you don't need to really think too hard about it, right? I'm not here to give you a PhD on options trading. I'm just here to show you each month which is the best option to take on which coin at that point in time, right? So there it is. That's it. That is the end of the options part. We'll continue through the rest of the show. Remember, when you do go on to 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 over here, they do other trading as well, right? You can still do futures trading, and they're actually in a competition right now. So the competition ends in 24 days. You can win 200,000 USDC, so stable coins. I've entered into this competition with these strategies, right? With the ETH one, with the SOL one that we're currently in. I've released another article as well, why options trading is useful. We're not going to go through the article now, but why it's useful right now. Part of the reason is going to be because the volatility has not yet completely taken off in the market, right? So sign up to 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, get your access to the accounts over here, connect it to the competition so that immediately you can start to make money over there. And let's go, let's continue. So we can take a couple of chart requests as well. Let's see, Sui, let's have a look at some of the 2-week time frame charts that I mentioned previously. Let me just quickly pull up the Discord on the side over here to just check in on some of these. So ETH has still got a way to go. ETH is still looking pretty weak over here, but there is 1 day, 17 hours left. If this can start to push up and close as a green candle, the next 2 weeks might create the opportunity to break through that zone. Let's go to some of the meme coin sectors, since yesterday we covered a whole lot of these other coins. So we'll go straight into the memes. On the 2-week scale, I'm going to just go straight through the list over here. Wait, let's see. No, we got first and foremost, 𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁, right? Where's 𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁? Okay, let's go to Brett. I have Brett on here. Brett, super strong. Everything looking really, really good over there. Billy, 2-week scale, not perfect yet. Bonk, very decent 2-week chart over here. Strong 2-week close above the resistance level. We'll put this in over here. If you get that strong 2-week close above here, expect continuation on Bonk. Bonk is looking really good. We have Mog as well. Very, very strong. You can see clearing these levels. This is one of our biggest positions. Close and hold above this level. Expect continuation. Any pullbacks that come from Mog into this breakout level, that range level, is going to be significant. 𝗓𝗡's the other one that I've been looking at. I told you, expect expansion. Yesterday, this was trading all the way down here. I mean, this thing's already started to move. It's like 40% up or something. Look, even today, 20% up. Foxy also starting to move. Foxy starting to look good. It does have some resistance overhead here that it needs to contend with, but strong weekly closes over here, and you're going to see the entire meme coin sector explode, right? We also have here, let's see, 𝗏𝗂, checking in on 𝗏𝗂. I'm still holding my long positions over here. I expect that all the memes will go when the top ones start flying. The things, the likes of Brett, Popcat, Mog. Once those start to fly, you're going to see the same thing occur. Okay, Myro also got a long way to go up still, right? And I do believe that this will take out those highs. So if you are looking for an early trade, Myro is still in a decent zone. We have FOG, which recently got a whole bunch of listings. We're still waiting for the Binance listing on FOG. One of our top picks, expanding. It looks super, super powerful. 𝗬𝗎𝗎𝗎, clearing the resistance level over there. Break and hold above this. So we need to see a closing candle, one closing candle above this, and expect there's going to be continuation. Turbo, I'm also still holding. So similar to the previous ones that I showed you, where I'm looking for expansion. If we even close around here, I'm expecting the next 2-week candle to start to push towards the upside, and that is on Turbo. Okay, 𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁, very strong as well. There it is, clear and hold, looking for expansion. Really, really nice. Let me know in the comments if there's any others that you want to have a look at. We can look on the daily time frames as well at a couple of these coins. I want to double check as well Render. Let's have a look at Render. Okay, Render USDT, here it is. Okay, so Render's broken its trend line. I am in a big long position on Render. It's creating the little order block over here. I mean, I think this is really priming to move over here. You can see previous support, resistance, resistance, flipping into support, following the break of trend over here. I think Render could be one to start to look at. Let's double check Render on the 2-week scale as well. See how it looks over here. I think it's probably still very, very low down, but nevertheless, it's still interesting to look at. There it is. Okay. Possible SR flip, you know, I left it for this level down here, but maybe that's it. Maybe that's as low as it's going to go. And we do start to get expansion. I do also believe Render probably puts in new all-time highs at some point within the cycle. Injective, yeah, we can have a look at Injective. Let's quickly go to it. All the way on the top over here. Injective, there it is. Okay, so same thing, broke out of the falling wedge formation, held this area of support. You did put in a fair value gap. I don't think you hit it unless you have a deep pullback in Bitcoin, holding the mid-range level over here, the white line. So I mean, I'm treating this as the main range. Let's eliminate that. I'm treating this as the main range that we have over here. So range low, mid-range, range high, holding above the mid-range. Watch for the big push up over here to 30. I'm also in a big injective long, waiting for the clearance of 30 over here, and then for price to move. All these trades are here. If you want to join the Whale Room trade community, there's a link in the description below at Black Friday. You can see our traders are absolutely crushing it over there. Massive, massive profits. We have 3 coaches which are constantly dropping alpha and information over there, from meme coin trades all the way to quick leverage in our trades. Everything is there. If you want to look at the testimonials, feel free, go and have a read through on the page over here, and you can see what it's all about, right? Current special is there. If you do want to join, that's a Black Friday promotion, and the link is below. All right, what else? EOS, yeah, let's have a look at EOS. EOS putting in a big move. I actually want to show you EOS over here on the 2-week scale. So looking really, really strong, powerful 2-weekly candle. This is a sign and symptom of what's to come, right? It shows you that what we're seeing on the monthly scale, if you close on Bitcoin over here like this on the monthly, is probable continuation. It could really be the start of the parabolic advancement. Things are looking really good over there. So powerful moves. We're still waiting for things like FET to catch up, right? Still on the 2-week scale, looking a little bit lackluster. I mean, when you look at this chart, it's even possible it comes back down to 80. So memes are definitely leading things, right? yes. Whale Room, different to front runners. Absolutely. Whale Room is, my group, my portfolio. It's got all of my trades in there. We've dropped, tons of 100 to 1000x gains. It's a very clean, concise group, to the point. No chaos and, like cross messaging everywhere from hundreds of different people. It's just 3 of us, right? 3 of us, top traders looking for opportunities in the market. 3 other traders plus me, so 4, right? So everything is in there for you guys. You can go check it out. All right, Boom. Yes, Book of Memes. Let's have a look at Boom. How's Boom doing? Boom on the 2-week scale. I'm still looking for the rounded bottom over there. You can see these memes can very quickly change, their course. If this gets a 35% move, clears above the top side of the range, they start to move into price discovery, and then you're looking for huge moves. We can look at Doge as well, since Elon Musk has been obviously tweeting a lot about it. Huge moves over here. It's still got a lot to go. I personally don't find the risk to reward worth it on Doge. I don't think I have any Doge in my portfolio. Actually, I've looked more towards the other coins. This oftentimes, when Doge starts to move, it brings that media attention back, the retail back into the market. And then usually they discover the other coins that have the most upside potential, which is what we've dropped for you guys, right? So, the likes of Popcat, GigaChad, Monk, Brett, Myro, Fog. What else do we have? Moo the Bull, Turbo, Ponky. These are some of my meme coin portfolio picks. Most of these were already up anywhere between 5 and 20x on these trades. So looking really, really solid over there. Yeah, we can have a look at Klaus. I see there's questions around Klaus as well. Let's check out Klaus. How is Klaus doing? We dropped the Klaus trade for you in Whale Room, by the way, at $6 million market cap, right? $6 million market cap. The Whale Room members got into Klaus. Here's your chart. It's very much range bound over here. You hit the range low, started to bounce. You're looking for price to move up to about 0.049. If you can break and hold above 0.049, then you have a measured move that's going to take you up to 0.08. So there it is. That's about a 216% move. All right, they don't have that much momentum and liquidity yet, which is why I try to get the 𝗬𝗏 members in as early as possible. $6 million market cap. I think your entry is absolutely safe. I can switch this onto a market cap and show you where that $6 million entry was. So here it is. 𝗬𝗏 members got in over here. $6 million market cap. That's where you got in. Huge move up, came back down. Your entry should be safe if you're tracking this. In terms of market cap, there's the major support. I don't expect price to trade back below that level. So if you're not in yet, though, what should you do? Firstly, make sure you're in 𝗬𝗏, right? So you don't miss it. Secondly, wait for maybe something like this. I wouldn't chase price. If you get lucky enough for it to come back down to about 12 million, that's probably a decent zone where you can get your entry in, right? So that is for Klaus. All right, SUI memes are low market cap comparatively. Yes, they are, but I don't think too many people are trading the SUI memes. So that's an interesting conversation to have. You need to kind of time it right? You need to time it just before everybody starts to transition into, a meme coin meta, a new meme coin meta, that is. Solana is still where it's at, right? Definitely. There's been speculation, people are going to move on to base as well and start to trade the base meme coins. But I really encourage you, rather wait for the full confirmation of the trend. Otherwise, you end up getting stuck in small positions, like on Casper, right? A lot of people, even though I'm bullish on Casper long term, a lot of people went and bought the Casper memes. And I think there's very low liquidity, very low interest. And then consequently, there's not enough new money coming in to get that thing moving. All right, we can look at 𝗕𝗓 as well. Let's see how's that doing. I'm also in a leverage long trade on 𝗕𝗓. This one's absolutely cooking. We spoke about the downsloping trend line over here, which is building up those stops, right? Liquidity. When you see something like this, big liquidity and it's going to lead to an impulsive move. We perfectly tagged that level. That's why I entered into my long trade. Huge move up over here. I'm still holding because I like the consolidation that we're getting on the daily around this $5 mark. The consolidation that occurred there is enough to get this springboarding up, and then hopefully you get another consolidation somewhere around 750, and then you just keep marking up, right? So looking really, really good over there. What else? Okay, DJ call from the whale room. I have dropped something in there, guys. Go and have a look. At the latest post under the DJ chat. Let that be a little bit of a hint of what's to come, right? Go and check that out. So, yeah, guys, make sure also before we do finish off over here with the last calls, remember, sign up to 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏. If you do want to participate, the full outline over here has been done in the article. So get your hands on the article. That's going to be the easiest way for you to make sense of how to do this beyond the example that I've given. And then let's do a couple more requests, right? And then also whale room, jump in there if you do want to get that latest call. I think this one's going to be a banger. 𝗓𝗏𝗓, I have dropped 𝗓𝗓𝗓. Let's just have a look at 𝗓𝗓𝗓 on the daily time frame to just get a little bit more specific on these levels. So where is it? Let's see. 𝗓𝗏𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓. Okay, let's just search it. Going to be easier. 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓, there it is. Okay, we got it. So 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓, falling wedge formation, broken. I really like this trade. I think it's just loading up. There's where do you not want to see price to go? Where's your hard invalidation and stop? Well, you need to wait, right? Your hard invalidation and stop. I've already drawn it out over here. Actually, it's this gray line. If you break below 0.0173, pretty much you're out of that position. I don't think that you get there. You might continue to chop. It's as per my little LARP lines. I think, you just chop, and then eventually you're going to get huge expansion over here on 𝗓𝗏𝗓𝗓. When it was sitting around these lower levels, around this 0.0195, I actually loaded up more into that wick over there. So originally I had about a 0.5% allocation in my portfolio, and I thought, let me pick this up to about 1.5 because I feel relatively confident that this is going to spike. So that's 𝗓𝗏𝗓𝗓. All right, folks, that's it from me. Let's cut it off over there. Thank you so much for joining. You guys know where to find me. For the rest of you, I will see you all on the next one, which is going to be on Monday. Have an absolutely stellar weekend, everyone, and cheers for now.